Hi, this is Lori from GLP-1 Journey in Review. Today I am doing a video in my interview series where we talk to people about their weight loss journey. Today we have with us Debbie from Debbie's World, who's also a content creator. Her YouTube channel is going to be linked below in the description, so after you're done watching this, please head over to her YouTube channel, like, subscribe. If you find this useful at all in any way, please hit that like button and subscribe button. I want to remind everybody that we are not healthcare providers. We're talking about what works for us, and we are not giving out medical advice. If you plan on a weight loss journey, I strongly urge you to see your healthcare provider. So Debbie, why don't you tell us a little bit something about yourself and your weight loss journey?
Well, as Laurie says, I'm Debbie. I'm 44 years old. Um, I've recently started Mounjaro. This is my 5th week, and I've been on a weight loss journey for quite a long time, and my YouTube channel dates back over 10 years. So it's not a fairy tale journey. With Mounjaro, it's not my first time. But apart from that, I work from home full time. I have 2 little border terrier dogs called Charlie and Peggy. I've got a husband downstairs called Andrew, and we just try to live life and share my efforts to lose weight online with my community.
So you say that you started taking Mounjaro. What made you decide to use a GLP-1 medication?
Um, we'll probably go into more of this later, but as I said, I've had a lifelong battle with my
Mhm.
weight and following different plans and um, things. And I also started to struggle with binge eating and low mood. And in a 6-week period, I had gained 17 pound.
Mhm.
And I had bought some new trousers for my holiday. They fit when I was on holiday, and then like over this period they no longer fit, and I'm just like, I'm so fed up, and I think I need to find something else, something new, and something with a bit more assistance to
Mhm.
help lift my mood and help limit my binge eating and cravings.
So I'm assuming you started out on the low dose, the 2.5,
2.5, yeah, yeah. You always started on
right?
2.5.
Have you had any results in your first month?
Since I got weighed to submit my prescription, which was on the
Mhm.
24th of June, I've lost 1 stone 6 or 20
Wow,
pounds.
that's great. Are you planning on staying on this dose, or are you planning on going up to the next dose?
I'm staying on 2.5 for
Awesome.
another month, yeah, and I just review it as I go along. I think for me, that's quite a good loss in five or
Oh
six
yeah,
weeks. So, I've had quite minimal side effects. So I think just for now, I'm going to stay on. I'm not saying I'm never going to move up, but for
right.
now, I'm staying on 2.5.
Yeah, I'm in the US, you're in the UK, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
so like
yeah,
in the US, they tend to just put you on the 2.5 for 1 month because technically it's not a therapeutic dose. It's just to get your body acclimated to the
yes, yeah.
Mounjaro. And I really wish I would have stayed on it longer because I also had really good results. Uh,
I should have said I'm from Yorkshire in the
uh-huh,
UK.
okay. Uh, so what other types of weight loss have you tried in the past?
Mainly Slimming World, which is
Uh-huh.
your typical healthy eating, low fat, um, big focus on your salad and vegetables, lean meats, things like that, and keeping the things that are higher calorie to a minimum. Um, and I was very successful with that. But there ultimately came a time where I was no longer able to follow the plan, especially at maintenance,
Hmm.
and weight just came back three
Yeah.
times.
I could understand that because I'm on maintenance, and obviously I've tried other diets in the past and, lost a decent amount of weight, but gained it all back. And I think including the GLP-1s, there really isn't an exact guideline for maintenance. I know they're
Yeah,
working on it. Uh, For example, I've been on maintenance since January and, I was still losing a little weight, and then I would decrease my dose, then the hunger would come back, the food noise, so it's kind of playing around. But the difference with this is I feel it's definitely doable because as far as my eating, I really have no food off limits.
yeah,
I'll still
exactly.
have my ice cream, but instead of having it every night, I might only have it once every other month or something, and instead of eating the whole pint of ice cream, I just have a couple spoons. So,
And
yeah, there is hope.
I think it's important, your target or your maintenance weight, that's not the end. So I'm
Correct.
glad I'm glad that you're here and you're vlogging, you're sharing your
Mhm.
journey at maintenance, and there's a few other people out there. I think some people see, oh, I've got to target, I've got to my maintenance plan. That's it, it's done. But that's not the end. The hardest part is the maintenance. So, but yeah, I'm not at my target, unfortunately, but yeah, we'll get there.
Do you feel hopeful with this medication that you could do this?
Uh, to be honest, I view it slightly differently.
Mhm.
Um, when I started Slimming World and when I started Mount, oh, I really had no idea. Obviously, I found it easier to have a target in mind this time, but when I
Mhm.
joined Slimming World, I had no idea how far and how successful I would be on it. Um, Obviously, I'm not successful now, but do you know what I mean?
Right, I do.
So I lost about 15 stone previously with Slimming World, and I've regained, obviously. But I had no idea. There was no way in heaven that I would have said I would lose 15 stone. I just had these little targets in mind.
Right.
Get under 20 stone, get under this, get under that. So I think what I'm trying to say is, don't have these big things like I need to lose 6 stone or whatever, however many, £50, £70. Just take it day by day, live your life. Yes, it's good to have something in the back of your mind, but also it's important to just live life and enjoy it, because time will pass anyway,
Right.
and we're going to do these things. So don't get so focused on I need to be this weight, this BMI. Just keep doing it. Just do something.
Yeah, I know that I had, in my mind, I had a target which had changed, but I also had small targets along the
Hmm.
way.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I try to reward myself, non-food rewards, of course,
Yes,
when
yeah.
I hit each one. For example, I went to see a movie, and I don't go to the movies that often. I think you call it cinema there, but
Cinema,
uh,
yeah.
yeah.
I think
But
it's more getting to be movies now though.
okay. So I had these small targets, and when I achieved them, I thought it was important to uh, give myself a reward, obviously a non-food award. Do you have small targets, large targets, or are you still working on that?
I have some very small targets, and it's mainly based on what weights I've been before.
Mhm.
So, for example, um, I I've gained the £17 before I started Mount, so my first target was to re-lose that £17,
Mhm.
and then there's been times when I've rejoined Slimming World, and obviously back in the past and I've had my starting weight for rejoining. So I'm just trying to hit those little targets along the way, thinking, oh, when I rejoined Slimming World 3 years ago, I was 16 stone, so I'd love to get back to that or under
Mm-hmm.
that. Just little things like that, and obviously your stone target, your half a stone, your £7, your £14, your £21.
So how's the 2.5 done with your food suppression, your appetite suppression?
Yeah, I mean the first couple of weeks, the first week especially, yeah, I really noticed it, and I was because I'm doing calorie counting as well,
Mm-hmm.
or should I say, I'm using a calorie counting app to monitor
Mm-hmm.
my intake, which I think is, I don't know if you do you see that as slightly different to calorie counting. Anyway, that's up for argument. But yeah, I'm using a calorie counting app to monitor my intake. And yeah, the first week I was down at like 1,300, and I needed to just bring that up a little bit because let me just see, I am around 17 stone 11. I think it's about 108 kilo.
Mm-hmm.
And in pounds, it's 224. So I started at 256 pounds and I'm now 235.
Awesome. That's great.
So but yeah, I would like to have be able to eat a little bit more than 1,300, and I've managed to slowly bring it up to now I'm
Okay.
eating somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000, depending on where I am in the week.
Well,
I
that
take my injection on a Friday, and
okay.
my suppression is highest on Monday and Tuesday. I know the advantage of having a calorie counting app is you can see what days your lowest calories are, and you can also take a average over the week. So
Okay.
yeah, I've
That's
slowly managed to bring it up a little bit to a point where I'm a bit happier. But yeah, I wouldn't want to move up to 5 milligrams yet because I'm still feeling the suppression generally. Yeah.
yeah, that's great because a lot of people would just move up too quickly, and once you hit that top dose, there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah, I think there are different levels of sensitivity to it though as well, definitely. Some people get a lot of symptoms, or some people feel very high suppression. It's different person to person.
I know a lot of people do microdosing.
Yes,
Have you
yeah.
considered that if you go up higher or?
I've got some very good advice offline um,
Mm-hmm.
from an ex-medical professional, and yes, I would consider doing something like 3.75, buying
Mm-hmm.
a 5 milligram pen, and then giving myself 3.75 per week. I'm not too sure about the split dosing, but
Gotcha.
whatever will be, will be. I think it's good. I think it's good as well some days to practice your own willpower, or not even
Mm-hmm.
willpower, just your own decision making. So
Mm-hmm.
if you feel like the suppression is a little bit lower towards the end of the week, you can either eat a few more calories because you know your calories have been low at the beginning of the week, or you can start to practice your own decision making, and try and, because at some point, some of us will be on it for life,
Mm-hmm.
or the advice at the very beginning, I don't know about in the US, but I think in the UK it's still only to take it for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
um but I know there are some people who want to take it for life. I'm
That's
open to
me.
anything. I'm open to all. I mean, there's the money, the financial aspect as well, isn't there?
Yes,
But
absolutely.
yeah, I'm open to anything. But in an ideal world, I wouldn't be on it for life. But we have to just wait and see.
Absolutely. So, you mentioned that you do your injections on Friday, correct?
Yes, yeah,
Are you a stomach person, leg
yeah.
person, or?
I do it. I was just watching a couple of your interviews, and I
Mm-hmm.
do it clockwise around my belly like you.
Good.
I haven't been brave enough to try anywhere else really, but there's lots of fat there to go at. So
There's a lot of controversy on that because according to the, Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk, there really isn't much of a difference. But what you hear from people is, like, oh, less side effects in the legs, more hunger suppression, in the
mm.
tummy balance. Don't know
I
if that's
haven't.
true, but
I haven't yet seen a need to try anywhere else because I've been
hmm
happy with my weight loss. I've been more or less happy with my suppression, and I've been more or less happy with my symptoms or side effects.
awesome. So I know that I bring this up because being in the U.S., a lot of my subscribers aren't aware you guys use what's called the Quick Pen, correct?
Yes, yeah, I should have brought one up actually.
Uh,
But yeah, you get one a week, and we get a pen that has 4 or 5
Five.
injections if you if
The
you want to
golden
be a bit
dose.
controversial. So yeah, you just get one pen to last you a month, and if you get some of the higher doses, um, and you've made the decision yourself personally, you can split dose or microdose.
Right, the
You don't
30
have,
instead of, yeah,
yeah, like or like I know some people get a 15 milligram pen and give themselves 5 milligram from it each time they inject, and it can work out cheaper. But you all have to do your own research and
correct.
take your own risks. And if you look at the manufacturer's advice, they will never advise keeping a pen longer than 30 days, for example, or things like that. But it's all at your own risk.
Yeah. Can you blame them? That's how they make their money.
No, exactly, exactly.
So in the UK, approximately what does the Monjaro cost?
There's a price comparison site. If you have to, there is a small chance that some people may be eligible on the NHS, which we
Mm-hmm.
can come back to later. But if you're not eligible on the NHS, you're likely going to have to buy it through privately through a pharmacy. Some of the popular pharmacies, I don't know if you've heard of Boots, Superdrug, that kind of thing on the high street, and also registered pharmacies online. So there is a price comparison site which is always linked in my video description, and you just go on there, and it also lists all the discount codes and things
Mm-hmm.
and first time order. So I'm a bit of a shop arounder, so it depending on the dose, depending on the discount code, it can be anything between £100 and 250 per month.
Yeah, I mean, considering that the cash price in the US is $1,200 a month, and then they have discount codes if you're eligible
Yeah,
for like 650, that's still a savings.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
and I know that Eli Lilly has started their own, directly selling it to the people, with the prescription, of course, and that is about $500 a month.
All right, okay,
But
right,
but
yeah.
the caveat to that is that you have to order it every, I think it's 45 days, otherwise
Like a
the price goes
subscription
up.
service.
Right, otherwise the price
That's
goes back up to
that's
close
what
to
you
the
have to be
1,200.
that's what you have to be careful of if you're pharmacy shopping around.
Mhm.
You just have to be careful about these subscription agreements.
So you mentioned that you calorie count on an app. What app do you use?
I use NutriCheck, and
Okay.
I think that's 35.99 a year.
Mhm.
So or you can pay monthly. But you can try it for 7 days. Not an ad, not an affiliate, but you can try it for 7 days free. I just think it's worthwhile doing even before you start any diet, just to monitor how you eat, and then once you start your healthy eating way of eating, you can sort of note down any differences, and you can learn from your own eating habit.
Right. Now, I don't know if they have it there, but I personally use MyFitnessPal.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, now I don't really track, and I never really did unless I wasn't losing weight, because then I had to figure, well, let's see if we could find out the reason. You know, I'm trying to be like, 1,400 calories. Am I really doing that? So, for a couple of days, I'll log all my food. I'll even weigh it to make sure the portion that I think I'm eating is actually the portion that
Mm.
I am eating. But that's usually all I use the tracker for, because
Maybe
as
I,
long as I
maybe
was
I'll
losing.
get maybe I'll get to that point in time where I
Hmm.
can be more intuitive. But actually, because I've have so heavily relied on Slimming World in the past, this is actually the first time
Hmm.
that I've done calorie counting. So it's or calorie tracking because I've only been doing it about 6 weeks.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I think maybe that point will come when I get to a bit further down the line where I can do it a bit more intuitively and not weigh and track every single thing. But at the moment, I feel good with it.
Awesome. And you're saying at first you didn't think you were getting enough calories.
Yes, yeah.
Did you have any effects like fatigue or anything from not getting enough?
I I had some fatigue in the first week, but I do think I'm also affected by my cycles,
Mhm.
womanly cycles. Men turn away now. But yeah, and I have had one or two little naps, which I wasn't really doing before,
Uh-huh.
especially on like my injection on a Friday evening, and then on the Saturday I'd start feeling a little bit tired. But no, I feel in general, I feel more energetic and more active and a little bit more confident.
Are you doing any strength training with this, or are you just
No,
waiting a
I
bit?
think I'm just at the moment I'm just walking,
That's good.
but I might look into once I've got a little bit more weight off, I'll probably
Mhm.
look into some because I used to do strength and resistance classes, but I don't think I did that until I got like under 15 stone last time. So mainly I just do aim for like 8 to 10,000 steps a day. Um, or I'll do like loads of batch cooking, which is more um energetic than you think. But yeah, no, I'm not really doing anything like that at the moment with resistance bands or weights or anything.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think along the way, I'll start looking into that.
And okay, now you mentioned your husband hiding downstairs. Does he eat the same foods you do, or does he
We
eat
eat
a
we
total different
eat
diet?
we eat more similar now. I'm on
Uh-huh.
Manjaro because I can eat a wider variety of foods.
Mhm.
So if I was doing Slimming World, we'd be eating quite different meals. But actually now, we eat more similar. But he's one of these. He never puts an ounce on.
Hate
But he
that.
does. He
Not
eats.
fair.
He eats quite a bit of junk, but also he eats healthy meals,
Mhm.
and he does a lot of activity through his work. And he does a lot of the housework as well, so he's always active and
Mhm.
he hasn't really needed to follow any kind of plan.
When he's eating his junk, does that tempt you at all?
Not really, no.
Good, that's great.
I can look in, but I do think I'm still unsure at the moment whether when you start a new plan, you're always
Mhm.
more fired up, aren't you, and more motivated. So I do think in the first few weeks or months, it's a little bit easier because the weight's coming off
Mhm.
um, of any plan that you do. Um, but so yeah, I am all fired up. I am all motivated, so it's easier to avoid a temptation. But also, I'm not cutting anything out, so I can say to myself, yeah, he's got a few Kit Kats in there or a few Twix bars. I can have one if I want one.
Right. Just
It's
as
just
long
I don't really want one. And I've
that's
got
great.
I've got my own little stash of dark chocolate and nuts and protein yogurts, And actually, at the moment, I'm still enjoying all that. So
Hmm.
it's not. I actually had to throw away some crisps and stuff because they were all out of date. So
Have you noticed any of your taste buds changing since you started this?
I have noticed that some things taste overly sweet, and I'm not able to drink as much energy drinks, fizzy drinks, and coffee. Because I used to love drinking just do you know the diet tonic water, like no added
Hmm.
sugar?
Right.
I used to drink like a sort of 500 ml bottle of that through the day. Because when you're following a plan like Slimming World, you want things that fill your stomach. Well, I drank about 600 ml of tonic water when I was on Manjaro about 2 weeks ago, and I honestly had a gurgly tummy for the next 24 hours. I'm like, right, I can't do that anymore. So I've had to measure out my amount of fizzy drinks. Yeah, my coffees and teas taste a lot sweeter. And yeah, I'm now preferring the dark chocolate rather than something like the Cadbury's or something like that because it just tastes claggy,
Hmm.
the the milk chocolate. So
Hmm.
there's something there. There's something working there, I think.
Have you had any frustrating moments since you started? Like,
Um, I haven't hit a stall or anything so far, bearing
hmm
in mind I'm 6 weeks in. Um, no, to be honest, it's been fairly overall positive. I think, I don't know about frustrating, but the most worrying thing is just these slight little side effects. Like I get a little bit of stomach ache or I get a little bit of heartburn and indigestion. But I've had no sickness, no diarrhea, no constipation. So to be fair, I'm pretty happy so far.
so you find it manageable, the side effects?
Manageable, yeah. They're just very slight, but I'm being trying to be really honest and open on my
Hmm.
vlogs and mention anything that I'm feeling, which might and I when you're sharing your journey, you also have to talk about your thoughts of food and stuff,
Right.
which a normal person wouldn't have to. So maybe I'm still thinking of food and my thoughts about food more than a normal person would. And same with side effects.
Well, keep in mind you're still on the starter dose, which technically isn't even a therapeutic dose yet,
Yeah,
and doing well. So that you have to. That's a pretty good thing in my book.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, um, I mean, I think my cycle's about to return, so we could have a funny bit of a week this week. But I still think even if I have a little gain or maintain, 1 stone 6 is plenty to lose in 5 or 6
Absolutely.
weeks.
Yeah, you don't want to
So
lose it too fast because you'll lose some muscle and you could run into hair loss and things along those lines,
yeah,
which is
and
only
another
temporary, the hair loss.
yeah, yeah. I was reading about that the other day actually. That even if you do start to lose hair, it will eventually stop and start to regrow. So
Right. And just so everybody knows, that's not the GLP-1 medication. That's with any rapid weight loss.
yes, yeah,
So that's
exactly,
yeah.
yeah.
So let's not blame that on the medication. So what does a typical day of food look like for you?
At the moment, it's looking. Usually, I'll start off with protein yogurt, some kind of high fiber granola or muesli. Um, Sometimes I top that with, and then I'll have some berries. And sometimes I'll start to top that off with nuts and seeds and a little bit
Hmm.
of honey. So that's my breakfast. Lunch will be uh, loads of different things, little sandwiches, little you know what quiche is?
Yes.
Quiche, but no pastry.
Hmm.
Frittatas, wraps, um, always with like chicken, tuna, egg,
Mhm.
getting your protein in, and then evening meal will be some kind of protein, chicken, beef burger, salmon, with a few potatoes and a salad, and then I'll have sometimes I might have another little protein yogurt, or I'll have something like a. Do you have what they're called, like chocolate ice cream Magnum lollies? So it's like a.
I don't know if we have that, but we have other types of like low sugar or low carb ice creams and
Yeah, something like an ice cream, or I'll have another bowl of yogurt with nuts, or I'll have chocolate, dark chocolate, and nuts and dried fruit. And yeah, I'm doing a lot less snacking. So
Mhm.
even when I was doing Slimming World, I would snack a lot on the good stuff, like the fruit, the yogurt, boiled eggs, um, carrots and stuff like that, but I'm not even feeling the need to do things like that. And
Mhm.
as I say, apart from my water, I'm not able to drink as much tea and coffee. So yeah, I've cut down a lot on the sweet snacks, and also
Mm.
the fruit and yogurt snacks as well, because I used to have a morning and afternoon snack every day, and I don't even think about it some days. It's just nice to have that feeling to eat a full and healthy meal and then not
Right.
think about it till my next meal.
That's great. Um, do you have a protein goal in mind?
Um, I think I think it's supposed to be about 100 or 130
Mhm.
grams, is it? But to be honest, I'm getting between 80 and 100 grams, and I'm quite happy with that at the moment. Um, I don't really, I'm not really a shake drinker. You know,
Mhm.
like people do these protein shakes and milkshakes that have got extra protein. I'm not really feeling the need to do that. But if my appetite is limited, if I ever move up, then I might, try a couple of things just to make sure I'm keeping that protein.
Mhm.
But
That's
I'm not
great.
quite sure how I'd squeeze anything more in, to be quite honest, at the moment.
I'm trying to see here. This is what I use. I don't know if you could see it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's just a shot of protein because I don't really like the protein waters so much. They just
yeah,
kind of have a
yeah.
weird taste. But just one little squeeze, I can handle that.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
there's
to
a
get
lot of.
some extra.
I know you were asking somebody on one of your other interviews, does the UK have foods aimed at GLP-1?
Hmm.
Not necessarily, but we have started to have a lot of products that are labeled protein
Okay, same type of
because
thing.
because they know that everyone's looking to get that extra kick of protein. So
Absolutely.
I know somebody was like did a post on Instagram. Oh, now Aldi, which is our Trader Joe. I think your Trader Joe is a bit like
Hmm.
Aldi.
Hmm.
Um, they've brought in like a pack of chicken fillets that you can just eat straight away, and they've labelled it protein chicken.
I
Okay.
personally I thought all chicken was protein, but yeah.
But yeah, it's just silly things like that. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Something you can work on, aim for is always good.
And do you monitor your water intake or just kind of
I
figure it as?
only Well, I was saying on my channel that it's a habit that I've managed to retain is drinking my water. I first started doing it when I did Slimming World, and I drink 3 of these a day,
Hmm.
which is, I think it's 750 ml. Uh, as well as like maybe I'll have a glass of squash with my evening meal, or I'll have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. So I'm getting my liquids in, yeah, but it's a habit that I've actually managed to maintain. So even when I'm not following any plan, I still drink my water.
So, other than the Slimming Well, what other types of diets have you tried in the past?
Going back a few years, I tried Weight Watchers,
Mhm.
and I tried a like a meal delivery service.
Mm-hmm.
Not Gusto or HelloFresh or anything like that, but it was a designated low calorie. I think it was called Diet Chef. I mean, it's going back about 20 years. It was on,
Mm-hmm.
or even more. It was on like QVC or somewhere, like a shopping channel.
Right.
And yeah, you'd just get like a box of like microwave meals. Um, so you'd have like I can't even you'd have porridge, a small amount of porridge, microwave meal, and maybe it was making your own meal. Oh, I know. Porridge, soup, and then one of their like small lasagnas or something. And then you'd
Mm-hmm.
get like a little cookie, I think you call them over there, little biscuit or something to eat at night. I've no idea how many calories or anything it was, but yeah. I managed to lose like 2 or 3 stone each time, and I wasn't successful with anything really until I got to Slimming World, where I lost over 15 stone in less than 2 years. Kept it off for about 2 years. Then I've been back again, lost some again, kept it off a little bit. Then I went back again, and it was slower. The weight loss was slower each time, and I struggled more with it each time. So there would be more binging creeping in. There would be more low mood episodes where because I just kept like slipping off. So I just knew that I needed a bit more help. And it's not Slimming World or any of these other plans, they work if you follow them. And you've got, I believe, we need to follow some kind of plan to keep
Mm-hmm.
our weight off for life. We can't just go back to the way we were eating before. So for me, it's got to be something that's not maintainable, but sustainable. That's the word.
Sustainably.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that was my opinion on these GLP-1 again, because no food is off limits. So, how can you not find it sustainable? It's just the amount you eat and how often you eat the foods that you probably shouldn't be eating often or so forth. So, you know, and I could go out to dinner and, if I splurge, not that big of a deal because I continue my routine
hmm
starting
I
the next
mean,
meal.
I haven't really had to deal with any. Well, I did have to. I did go for a meal with my work colleagues actually, and that worked out
How'd
pretty
that go?
well. Yeah, because there were four of us, and three of us were on the injection.
Have
That's
you found
how.
have you found more people are on it than you thought would be on it? Like
Yeah,
when I was telling people at work that when I first started that I was on it, I do CT scans for a living, and we have like 5 different sites that we cover. So there's, I don't know, like 10, 12 of us. And I found out that like half of them were on this medication, and I
yeah,
was like
yeah, exactly.
surprised.
Yeah, yeah. You come out when because I came out quite publicly.
Hmm.
To say I was doing Manjaro. Obviously, I'd built up a successful following doing Slimming
Hmm.
World for about 8 years. I'd built up quite a successful YouTube channel and Facebook page. And I came out quite publicly to say I was changing to Manjaro. And I had loads of messages saying, I'm doing it too, I'm doing it too, but I'm doing it secretly, so on and so forth. But yeah, it's not exactly a secret for me, but I
So
think
what do you?
sometimes
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just think sometimes it's for some people it's nice to share your
Hmm.
journey, and I'm doing it quite honestly day by day most days. So I hope it's even though I don't have a very exciting life, I hope it's helpful to somebody.
Yeah, if it helps one person, it's worth it. So, what do you think about all the bad stigma and why people are kind of keeping it secret? Do you think it's going to
Um,
stay that way, or?
I think there's an element. There could be an element of it in every day. I mean, I don't know. Does everybody go around saying I'm doing Slimming World, I'm doing Weight Watchers, or do they do it secret? But yeah, there is definitely. a bit of stigma with the weight loss injections. It's cheating, or what are you gonna do afterwards, or you're just gonna pile the weight back on. But some of us really need extra help with
Hmm.
weight loss, and I wouldn't be here if I hadn't already tried my
Right.
hardest to lose weight on my own. Um, so I'm not hiding it from anybody. And I will be truthful and I'll say, yes, perhaps this won't work, but I have to try something, and time will pass anyway. So I could still be sat here. I mean, I was like over 20 stone before Christmas, and I could still be over 20 stone. I could be heading back up towards 26 stone where I was
Hmm.
10 years ago. Um, or I could be maintaining, but time will pass anyway. So I think just for me, it was just do something, take a chance. Maybe it won't work out, but hopefully I found a solution, at least for now, to
Right.
get some weight off.
One thing that a lot of people don't understand, and I keep trying to repeat, is obesity is a disease. It's not your fault,
Hmm.
and people don't understand that. It is the disease of obesity, and it's not just a matter of eat a little less, move a little more. I mean, because obviously we've all tried that.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
technically, it's partially true. I mean, we do have to eat a little less to lose weight, and, we do have to move a little bit more. But, with this disease, sometimes we need a little help, and it's just a tool. You still have
yes.
to do the work. So again, I want everybody to realize obesity is a disease, and it's not your fault.
Exactly, I definitely agree with that. And there's elements of emotional eating and things like that. And the that I've really struggled with binge eating, emotional eating, and the Monjaro is just taking the edge off that for me. Um, it's such a nice, freeing feeling to
Hmm.
not have something constantly in your mind. Now, as I said, I am having to think more about my brain, how my brain's working, and my attitude towards food because I'm sharing my journey. But I do still feel freer now I'm doing Manjaro. I've noticed, like I said, sit down, eat my breakfast, eat my dinner, and then there's nothing else after that, and it's great. And when I used to go out for the day, taking the dogs somewhere, or to work for the day or something, I'd be packing up loads of, even if it was healthy Slimming World stuff.
Hmm.
I'd be packing tubs of this and tubs of that, and or thinking, right, I need to go to the shop and get this, this, and this that fits in with my plan, just to make sure I'm not um, tempted with other things, and to make sure that I'm kept full and satisfied all day. But now I just know if I eat a good breakfast, and I've got my water, then I can just forget about it till my next meal.
Right. It's the food noise is gone.
Yeah, yeah. Or if I do need to go and buy something for my lunch, I can go in and I can look round and I can make a sensible decision based on calories and protein, rather than I need to do this because that's so many sins on Slimming World, or oh, this sandwich is so high in sins or whatever that I can't. I need to prepare something myself. So everyone will work their plan their own
Hmm.
way. But I can
Right.
just go in and choose some, and there's not loads of things jumping out on from the shelves to me. I can look at all the pastries and whatever and think, well, I could have one if I wanted to, but I don't actually fancy them.
Hmm.
So I will naturally go towards the slightly healthier sort of I'm not saying I'll choose a salad, but the slightly healthier sort of nice bento boxes and things like that I'll go towards. But if I want a sandwich, I'll look at the calories, make a decision, have a sandwich.
or half a sandwich.
Half a sandwich, yeah, yeah.
So, were you nervous when you were about to start the Monjaro? I mean, I know I was kind of scared, like I
Um,
didn't know what I was going to feel. I didn't know, I heard
I
all these
think,
side effects. I thought I
yeah,
was prepared, but
I think I was a little nervous, but it was not so much an impulse, whatever the next step is down from an impulse, but it was
hmm
very, I've got to do something and I'm going to try something else.
yeah, I know myself. I
Um,
was nervous, but I was also excited that I was trying
yes,
something new.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I had been watching some very good people on YouTube and TikTok, and also reading about it on forums. I don't know whether forums are a big
Yes.
thing.
hmm
Um, but yeah, obviously it's become a lot more, I don't know if popular is the right word, or well known here in the UK, because I think I heard you asking why not Ozempic or Wegovy, and
hmm
I think it's because Mounjaro's sort of taken over from those.
Right. It's
Um,
now the number one.
Now the number one, yeah. So I think from what I read, mostly the symptoms are more reduced on
hmm
Mounjaro than they are on the other two. Or is it tirzepatide?
Tirzepatide, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So those are the brand names, your Ozempic, your Wegovy, and your Mounjaro, but there might be other medications that have the GLP-1 in it, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I know in America, due to the pricing and due when there was a shortage, there's a lot of compounding pharmacies that are making it at a much more affordable price. And I know that's what I use because my insurance won't even think about covering weight loss medications. And I'm not eligible for the coupon because I'm on Medicare, which is for people 65 and over here.
Yeah,
It's against the law for them to,
I was
there's actually a
wondering,
law.
I was wondering about both, maybe more in the US, but in the UK as well. A lot of people have health insurance
hmm
through work. Um, so obviously we've got the NHS here,
hmm
but I was half wondering whether to approach my health insurance that I've got through work and see if anything could be done there. But I haven't tried that because mainly because I've managed to get it at an acceptable price to me
hmm
so far.
Yeah, I know I've always told people, when they're deciding to go on a GLP-1 medication and they're asking me, well, which one should I go for? I'm like, well, do you have insurance and will they,
Yeah.
cover one or the other? I mean, to me, if they covered Ozempic, that would be the one I would try.
Yes. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
that kind of cuts it right there, and then go from there. If you find that's, not working or you're having too many side effects, you know, then bring up the discussion with your healthcare provider about possibly changing. But, to me, that's number one. Try that if your insurance covers it.
Yeah. I mean, just in the UK, it probably works slightly differently because if you're a professional, if that makes sense, I don't
hmm
want to offend anyone, but if you're a professional, like a full-time worker with a sort of like a legal company that I am, um, you'll get some sort of low-level private health insurance. It comes out of your wage before you get
hmm
paid. Um, so it might be a path to just try. Um, you get it'll be quite a low level of coverage, so it won't be like a full care package or anything, but you never know.
Yeah, I know. I kind of had that dilemma because my work insurance does cover it.
Mm,
But like I don't take theirs because I have the Medicare. And then,
no.
I'm sitting there with my pencil and paper and like if I did enroll in it, it would cost about the same. The
Yes,
premiums
yeah.
that I would have to pay them would cost the same. So, and then sometimes having two insurances, at least in the United States, could be very confusing because one will say, "Oh, this one should pay," and the other one say, "Oh,
Yeah,
and that one should pay," and
yeah,
and then
yeah.
then you're stuck in that argument phase there.
But yeah, anything's worth looking into, especially if you feel like you will struggle with the cost. But definitely shop around,
Hmm.
do the pharmacy hop. Yes, you might have to fill in a few different questionnaires or submit your pictures a few different times, but use the comparison site. I don't know what it's like in the US, but it's definitely there to use in the UK. Um, I've got two lots at around £100 so far, so that is quite cheap
Hmm.
considering, some people who are going with the more popular, well-known places like Boots are paying 125, 150 for your for your 2.5. But also, if you're a bit more worried about it, you might want to go with one provider who you can like contact for advice and things like that, and who will monitor your weight loss or your total weight, if you know what I mean.
Right. Now you mentioned earlier that you got a lot of you did some research on some other YouTube channels and stuff like that. Who do you watch? Whose channels do you watch and like?
The main person I watched for Manjaro is a lady called Marcia, and her
Uh-huh.
channel is Lady Marwa, Mawa, and she used to live in the same area as me, and now she's moved to Scotland, but she lost about 3.5 stone, which is 50 odd pound.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in less than a year. And she was also she's a retired nurse.
Mm-hmm.
So she was very reliable with all her medical information, and she showed how to do injection um, and stuff like that. And because I sort of knew her in my circle, I knew she was a trusted
Right.
person. And then there's another lady on TikTok called Tilly Cutler,
Mm-hmm.
um, and she used to do YouTube for Slimming World, and I've known her for a few years, and she's done. I think she's lost about 6 stone, which is maybe about £90,
Yeah.
because 7 stone is £100, so she's lost
Okay.
probably about £90. So she's done really well. So yeah, it was just seeing those two people, and also popular forums in the UK. They would do like they would have a discussion forum for, say, right, we're all starting Monjaro in
Mm-hmm.
September, so you could follow their journey from the September and keep reading their thread all the way through, and they'd be like 6 or 10 people on the same thread, so you'd learn a lot from other people.
Do you check out like the Facebook and the
Not so
support groups that
much.
they have?
Not so much because I'm not attached to one particular pharmacy or another. So, but I know that if if you're on one particular pharmacy, you might be able to find their Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
But I do follow Reddit,
Mm-hmm.
which can be fun at times. But yeah, just pick the threads that you read, and remember to do your own research,
Right.
and never get too carried away with, oh, I'm only eating this many calories, or I'm not able to eat this, or I've got so many side effects, or I've got no side effects. All you can do is try it yourself and do your own research, and it's going to be different for everyone.
So, what made you decide to um, follow or do a YouTube on your Manjaro part of the journey?
I just remembered how much being on YouTube had helped me with doing Slimming World.
Mhm.
And I always attributed that, doing YouTube and sharing my journey publicly, as a big motivation and a big source of support and encouragement. Now I'm only small fry
Mhm.
compared to some people, but I do find um, it really helpful and motivating. And hopefully there's a couple of people out there that I'm helping and motivating as well.
Absolutely. I'm pretty small, and I'm hoping that I'm helping people, so, you know, I think every channel has its pluses and, like, I can't tell you the number of channels that I'm subscribed to, but, like, I'll scroll through it, especially on my phone, and see something, that I find interesting. Okay, that's what I'm gonna watch right now, and
But because I'm vlogging myself, I haven't had a lot of time because one of my other friends has been sending me Manjaro journeys on YouTube, but I actually haven't had a lot of time to sit and catch up with them.
right.
Because when you're vlogging yourself, and I do very minimal editing, it does
Mhm.
take up your time.
And people are surprised. It's a 10-minute video could easily take several hours to
So
to do.
so yeah, but I'm hoping at some point to get a bit of time, but TikTok is quicker. So you just
I'm
put
a little TikTok illiterate, so it's like, yeah.
yeah, if you start watching a few Manjaro videos, you'll start, if you stay on like somebody who's talking about Manjaro, you'll get more in your feed.
Right.
So yeah, but there is a lot of not misinformation, but
Mhm.
people thinking it's a miracle drug,
Right.
or people thinking that it suppresses you a lot, or that you can just take it and remain on the same kind of diet. But yeah, it's I'm not saying that I've totally transformed what I ate, because I've kind of already done that by
Mhm.
doing Slimming World for so long, but I had just fallen out of practice of doing it. But now I'm hoping for a more wider variety of food, but concentrating on those proteins. I'm not saying I'll never eat chocolate or a pie again, but
Mhm.
it's gonna be in there, but it'll just be a more healthier, wider variety of foods. Does that make sense?
Yes. Have you, done any research or heard anything about the next generation of GLP-1 medications that are gonna be coming out soon?
Not particular. I mean, I know they're probably researching maintenance,
Mhm.
and my sister is actually taking part in a study
Mhm.
with her GP through the NHS of tablet form.
Right.
And she must have got the real thing, we think, because she's lost about 2.5 stone
Mhm.
since the beginning of the year. Um, so there are new things coming along. If you don't like the thought of needles and things, there might be a tablet coming along at some
Right.
point.
Yeah, or
Um,
Forgalopran. There's a
yes, it
couple
could
of them.
it could be some, yeah, that's how, because I was actually Googling trials the other day to see if I could find that. But yeah, that word, what you said, that sounds like something we don't know what she's actually on, because it's all
Mhm. Right.
a
Uh,
blind trial, but
and then there's the, retatrutide, which is the GLP, the GIP, and also has glucagon, which is
yes.
supposed to, uh, be stronger. And basically, I am assuming, because I don't know for sure, it's not out, that it's gonna be more for people that, have to lose more weight. Like somebody who just has to lose 30, 40 pounds, that probably wouldn't be the medication of choice, in my opinion.
Hmm.
But for, people that, need to lose 100, 150 pounds, it may be a better option for them. And they say that it's supposed to, the side effects are manageable and are very similar to the tirzepatide, if not a little bit less, is what they're saying so far. So we'll
So,
see.
of the people you know,
Mhm.
do you think they're taking Manjaro as a first diet, or do you think they're taking it
It,
after years of yo-yoing and trying different things?
I'd say the majority are people that have yo-yoed, but then again, I was actually interviewing last week a nutritionist who is also a GLP-1 user, and we were talking about, people that only have like 10, 15 pounds to lose.
Hmm.
And my brother being one of them just started tirzepatide. He was on Ozempic, but the side effects were a little bit strong on the Ozempic, not so much on the tirzepatide. And I'm thinking, well, that probably, you're probably not the best candidate for it. But,
Mm.
as she was pointing out, is there's just so many other health benefits that they're finding with these GLP-1
Yeah,
medications, and it's
exactly.
no
Yes.
longer, really in shortage, so it's not like you're taking it away from somebody who needs to lose weight or taking it away from diabetics. So why not? Even
Yeah, I
even if they're
think
only taking it for a couple months, because it's
I don't know how
benefits
I
that they're
don't
looking into.
I don't know how regulated it is in the US, but even through your private pharmacies in the UK, you are limited to either above 30 BMI or 27 BMI with comorbidities.
Mhm.
So say if you've got diabetes or whatever, they'll prescribe it with a 27 BMI. That's when you start in your journey. Uh, but as you go down, there are ones they will prescribe to about 23 BMI,
Mhm.
if you can prove that you've lost weight through taking it, for a period of time. And there's some others that are doing maintenance plans, so they'll charge you a subscription fee, of course,
Mhm.
um, alongside, and guarantee that they'll prescribe. But I don't know how low BMI.
It's a little bit easier, I think, in the US, especially with compounding companies,
Yes, yeah.
because again, you never really see them in person, and they only see you from here up.
So
So you could fib a little bit for one thing, and
there's
uh,
not a lot. I don't think there's a lot of people taking it in the UK who only need to lose 10 or 15 pounds,
so you don't have
because
like stars, movie stars or TV stars that are doing it, or celebrities.
we do. I think they're not always open about it, and I don't see a lot of entertainment news as well. But the people who I know, who I think have been taking it, that are celebrities, are known to be the bigger people.
Mhm.
Like maybe Alison Hammond. I'm not don't know if she is or
Mhm.
not, but she was a big lady to start with. Um, uh, there's another there's another morning presenter or something that's on it, but um, I think it's more presumed that if you've lost weight in the last couple of years, you've been doing it via a GLP-1. So the first question you'll get asked, or that will be gossiped about if you're a celebrity, is, "Oh, she's on the jab." Do you know what I mean? It won't be. Whereas 5 years ago, it would have been, "Oh, she's been doing Weight Watchers or Slimming World."
I mean, I was just watching TV this week, and Just Like That, I don't know if you get that, which is
Yeah,
the Sex and
yeah,
the City, and,
yeah.
one of the characters, 10 pounds is battling, and his wife just said, "I have one word to say to you, Ozempic." So, I mean, it's being done, and, like, at first, I was totally against it, but, I think my views are changing a little bit because there are
Hmm.
so many other health benefits, cardiac, brain health, they're doing studies because they think it decreases your chances of getting Alzheimer's by like 15% if you use it
Yeah,
regularly. So, there's all sorts of benefits,
and also inflammation as well.
right?
So
And fatty liver disease, there's, a whole
I've
list of
I've
them.
I've noticed that I'm having less aches and pains.
Mhm.
I used to get a lot of backache and hip ache, because obviously I've been a lot heavier.
Mhm.
Um, I think my highest weight is 371 pounds. or 26.5 stones. So I've been a lot heavier, so that's taken its toll on my hips.
Mm-hmm.
But during this past 6 weeks, I've noticed it's been less painful.
That's
And
great.
I follow someone on Instagram who's had lipedema.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she's not so much taking it for weight loss, she's taking it to help manage her lipedema. I think she's lost about 8 stone, but she's noticed such a difference in her. She'll never get rid of it without surgery or whatever because it's not curable. But she's noticed such a difference that I think she'll continue taking Monjaro regardless of weight loss.
And there's also just studies that they're doing, and in my opinion, that's great because if we could get it approved for more and more diagnosis, it's got to help with the price and with insurance
Uh,
approvals and so forth.
I had some tests done a couple of weeks ago. Um, one to see if I had any conditions that would allow it to be prescribed to me on the NHS, and two, to check my levels.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not diabetic. I've no thyroid issues. All my blood tests came back as normal, apart from slightly raised cholesterol. So it will
Mm-hmm.
be interesting to see if the Mounjaro and the healthier eating will get me a bit lower on that cholesterol level.
Right. It should. I mean, according to the studies, do you have high blood pressure at all, or?
No,
Oh, that's
I've
great.
actually, despite my weight, I'm actually quite healthy on that side of things. I've never
Mm-hmm.
never been. Everyone, all the doctors and most people seem to think that if you're overweight, you'll be diabetic, you'll be unable to move about. But I think on that side of things, I've always done quite well. But it never hurts to lose weight.
No, I mean, just look at your joints, if you could, you know, lose 40, 50 pounds, that's less than your knees have to move around all the time and
Yeah,
your back
exactly.
and so
Yeah.
forth. So, there's, just lots of benefits that we're not even thinking of offhand.
But yeah, going back to having to get it on a private prescription, funnily enough, when I first started um, Mounjaro, my BMI was 42. And with this recent weight loss, it's now 38, 39. And the requirements for NHS are a BMI over 40 plus 4 conditions. So that's quite strict. Not to mention that my nurse said even those conditions haven't been approved in my area yet
Hmm.
by the powers that be. So it's quite strict to get it on the NHS, but it never hurts to ask.
No, it never hurts to ask. Now, do you think that they're gonna lower them any, like once maintenance comes? Because uh, I plan, unless something else comes along, I plan on being on this for life. And obviously now my BMI has gone down to what they consider
I
a
think the
normal
next
BMI.
the next thing they will lower it to is 35 BMI, which is still quite high. Um, so for the NHS, I think it's still going to be quite tough, and you may still have to jump
Hmm.
through hoops first, like going to weight management service and things like that, and maybe showing your calorie counting tracker or trying to show that you've tried to lose weight on your own. You may have to go to psychology or counselling. So you may have to jump through a few hoops even before they'll give you a free prescription. Well, not a free prescription. You have to pay for the prescription, like
Right.
£10, but the actual pen will be free, if
Hmm.
you get what I mean.
Right, I do. So, like in the UK, if somebody like does, get closer, decide they're going on a maintenance dose, how does that work with these strict restrictions?
Like I say, I think once I get closer to to maintenance. If I ever do, I'll probably stick to one provider, and it'll be
Mhm.
one that's got an advertised maintenance plan. Um, but I think so. Once you get under 25 BMI, you're going to have to stick to one provider probably, follow their advice. But I don't think there's anyone that's officially advising to drop under 2.5. But it depends what dose you've gone up to, what dose you come down to. But also, I'm getting advice personally. So
Mhm.
I would feel confident microdosing and things like that, or dosing every 10 days or things like that. So as long as somebody will prescribe to me,
Mhm.
I'm probably never going to get lower than a 23 or 24 BMI, to be quite honest. I got to about a 24 BMI last time, and I've got so much loose skin. My stomach is even worse, so I think I will really struggle to get any lower than that.
Mhm.
So I don't think personally I'll struggle to still be prescribed, but we'll see.
So what are you doing about your loose skin? Anything, or do you have a plan for it, or just wear it as a badge of honor?
Yeah, usually, to be honest, it's I've gone up and down so much that I don't think there's going to be a lot that I can do about it. But I always said before, um, when I got down to being as slim as I was, being slim is worth having the loose skin. Losing the
Absolutely.
weight is the most important thing, and I mean, I'll never be the most glamorous person, so I just have to live with it, and I just enjoy life. I mean, like I say, I probably will start doing some, like you say, resistance and strength, but I did really think that there's not a lot that can be done about something like that.
Mhm.
Um, it's not all loose skin now, but
Mhm.
actually it looks a little bit better. It doesn't look so bad on your camera. So maybe I'll come on your camera a bit more often
There you
instead
go.
of looking in my mirror.
Anytime. So, what is your um, goal? Your next goal?
It's I don't know how much you're going to be able to understand in the US, because we talk in stones and pounds a
And
lot.
a stone is for my viewers
14.
is 14 pounds.
So I'm currently 17 stone 11 or 12.
Mhm.
My next goal, no, I'm not. Sorry, I'm 16 stone 11. So my next goal is 16 stone 10. So I'm
Uh-huh.
almost there. And then my next goal after that will probably be around 15 stone. So just taking it stone by stone, and by pre like I say, previous times when I've gone back to Slimming World or started a healthy diet, I've been such and such a weight. So I've just been trying to get back under those figures. I mean, it would be nice. I'm not going to deny. I would like to be somewhere between 11 and 12 stone, which is about 140, 150 pounds. 150 and 160 pounds, I think.
Mhm.
Um, and that for me would be about a BMI 25. I'm 5'7", 5'6", moderately active. Um, so, but my main goal is just to lose a few stone, lose a couple of stone. That's my main goal.
Have your clothes felt a little bit looser since you started losing weight?
It's hard to say because I've been so up and down in the past. Um, really, I've lost 20 pounds, but really that's mostly the 17 pounds that I put on in the 6
Mhm.
weeks before starting Manjaro. Um, but using Slimming World and Manjaro together, I've lost about 3.5 stone since before Christmas. So yeah, it's getting there. But I'm actually wearing all my bigger clothes first to try and get some wear out of them. But
Understandable.
But yeah, I feel my stomach feels lighter, and I've definitely lost it in my face and
Mm-hmm.
up here. Um, hope that doesn't sound too braggy, but
No, no.
people have told me that I've lost it off my face, which is where it
Awesome.
always goes.
Now, when the clothes get too big, are you going to get rid of them or like keep them just in case? Or...
Um, well, I've got a lot of skinny clothes waiting for me. In fact, because my sister's lost weight, she's borrowed all my size 12 dresses because she does dancing. So she's like, right, you'll be after them dresses back, won't you? So um I haven't bought a lot of expensive big clothes, so it won't be any loss. And there's a couple of ladies in my street who are a little heavier than me, who are coming down the journey as well. So I'll probably anything that's too big for me, I'll pass on to these other ladies or to the charity shop. But I haven't really got anything, it's all from Shein and um, sale prices and stuff like that. So I
Mm-hmm.
haven't got really anything really expensive because I never wanted to go to, once I got back past 16, 18, 20, I never wanted to go shopping, clothes shopping. There's no joy in it for me. So send off for it online and, don't spend loads of money.
So I don't want to keep you all day. I could, but I don't want to. So just a couple last questions. What would you say to somebody starting off since you're new at it? And
I would say track your calories for a week or 2 weeks beforehand. Um, you'll have to get weighed anyway to order your prescription in the UK. So take a note of that. Maybe do some measurements, take some
mhm,
before photos, um, and not so much make a plan, but just do some research about what to eat and how to eat it. Don't get too caught up in it though. Just
mhm,
eat. Try and build up from your current way of eating and adapt it. So don't change everything all at once. Change a few things. Look at your calorie tracker, and try and adapt or change what you're eating slowly so that you get used to it and you can monitor your side effects and that. Um, stay on, monitor your weight loss and your side effects, and take time. Don't automatically think you've got to move up doses. Uh, stay on each dose for as long as you're still losing at a satisfactory weight to you and with minimal side effects. So take both things into account before you decide to move up. Uh, and just do something because time will pass
mhm.
anyway. So you don't want life to pass you by, so go out and grab it by the horns.
Are you a daily weigher or a weekly weigher?
I currently am weighing twice a week,
Hmm.
mainly because I used to weigh once a week at Slimming World officially, and then I would always weigh secretly at the weekend. So I thought, well, why do it in secret? So I'm currently weighing twice a week.
Hmm.
Um, some people say, well, that's not neither something or nothing. Once a week you'll see your results every day. You'll be able to monitor. But I did in the past have found the scales quite triggering. So, if you see a gain or if you see a loss, it can affect your pattern of eating. So I'm just feeling my way along a bit really with that. But so far I haven't seen, a big reaction to the scales. I've been managing to maintain my way of eating despite what the scales say. So
Well, even on the Monjero, they say typical is 1 to 2 pounds a week.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
at the moment I'm doing about £3 a week, but
well,
um,
it will slow down, I guarantee
yeah,
you.
yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm also trying to bring up the calories a little bit. So I'm currently doing between 16 and 1800. Um, my average this week was 1602, which is probably still a little low.
Mhm.
So, bearing in mind my current weight and my current base metabolic rate, but I'm no expert. So, as we all say, do your own research. Don't always take, if you are calorie counting, don't always take what the apps give you as your
Right.
goal.
Correct.
They'll give MyFitnessPal or NutriCheck will give you a calorie goal for the day, but you can go away and do your own calculation based on your base metabolic rate and your level of fitness, and it might give you a slightly more realistic um, target.
Yeah, like I know my Aura Ring and my Fitbit keep telling me that my, uh, calories should be somewhere between 900 and 1,000. I'm like, no, I don't think so." Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
that's
an estimate, it's it doesn't, even though it's supposed to track my activity and I work out and stuff like that, I don't think that's accurate on it.
did anybody ever ask you, or did you ever consider just doing calorie counting on its own? A
I
calorie
have
tracker.
tried that, and like I said, I do track once in a while just to make sure, like, because doing this for about a year and a half, I can make a certain meal and know about what the calories are. But once in a while, I will weigh it and actually look it up and so forth to make sure what I think it is and what it actually is the
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
And it is pretty accurate because I've been doing it a while. Uh, like I said, it's just especially I know myself, and I have tried stretching the doses out or skipping a week, and, that little food noise starts to come back, and
Mm-hmm.
that little nighttime snack is a little bit harder to resist, and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I think that's why I decided to do. I think if I just started calorie counting as a new start, I would have been successful at first in those first
Mhm.
few golden weeks. But I think gradually the binge eating and well, I'll just have this, or I'll just, after I've weighed in today, I'll just have this. And so I think that's why I decided to do Monjaro as well, because we've all got those of us who are having to resort to injections have extra struggles with our weight
Mhm.
and our emotions and our brain.
It's funny, just, 2 days ago at work, one of the people that I work with just, made a big batch of brownies and was passing them around, and I, you know I'm gonna have one. I haven't had one in a while,
Hmm.
and, a couple of things came to mind is, it's okay, give yourself some grace. I'm on maintenance, even if I wasn't, you have to give yourself some grace because this is now a way of life, and you can't say, "I'm never gonna have a brownie in my life again," because that just
Exactly.
won't
Yeah.
work. So, and then I'm thinking, it's the day before my shot, so that probably, one reason why I said yes a little quicker.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
one of the people that I work with says, "I don't think I've ever seen you eat a brownie." I'm like, it's like I said,
But
moderation is the key.
it's
Yeah,
it's it's easier to stick to one, isn't it?
mhm,
With the
absolutely.
with the Mount Manjaro.
And I actually left the last 2 bites because I was like, like, "Ooh, this is a little sweet," and, like,
Yeah.
eh, not that I thought that I was gonna get sick, I just knew that I was gonna get that sugar rush and then
Yeah.
crash, and I
Hmm.
didn't feel like
Hmm.
crashing,
Yeah.
so
Definitely, things definitely taste sweeter than they did
mhm.
before. So yeah, how do you think you eat as much fruit and salad as you might have done on a previous eating plan, or do you
Uh,
try and
I have always liked vegetables in my adult
mm,
life. I did not like them as a kid because, when I was growing up, my mother told me that they're really the only way to get fresh vegetables is if you were a restaurant. So everything came out of the freezer or a can. So
Right, yeah.
vegetables just really, they were okay, but they weren't my favorite, And so, once I was an adult and went to the store and said, fresh vegetables, I
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
like them. But, I do try, especially the days that my appetite suppression is high, to concentrate a little bit more on my protein. And if I
Hmm.
have to leave the vegetables, that's what I'm going to do, because that's what works for me. So, that's kind of like how I've dealt with it. And again, I know that my calories are probably between 1,200 and 1,400 a day, depending on if it's a workout day for me or not. And when it is a workout day, like I do sneak in an extra protein shake,
Hmm. Hmm.
uh, just to get some extra calories, because I don't want to do it drastically.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the protein is important if I'm working out. That's how I handle that. Any
Yeah.
other questions you want to ask me?
No, I'm quite curious about shopping habits and stuff in the US, but I think that's probably for another video.
Well, I could go
How?
real quickly, because like I do the shopping. We eat a lot of fresh fish because I live in South
Yeah,
Florida, so it is abundant here.
yeah. Because
Uh,
I was, I watch Fat 600 Pound Life. Is that a
hmm
thing?
Yeah.
Um, and they always sort of. It seems a little bit more difficult to buy the healthier food there,
I'm
or it's
lucky
slightly
because
more
I have
expensive.
a farmer's market near me that's a
Yeah,
permanent farmer's market, and they have a tremendous fresh fish and fresh meat department, and their beef is all grass fed,
yeah.
and so it's a little bit healthier. Yes, is a little bit more pricey. Fortunately, at this point, I'm able to afford to get that,
Hmm.
to get the better proteins and the better beefs and the fresh fish versus some of the frozen fish, which also tastes a little bit better. So for me, a typical dinner is a piece of fresh fish, some fresh vegetables. Occasionally, I'll have some quinoa or brown rice or a sweet potato, and
Hmm.
I
Oh, I love
usually
sweet
only have a
potato.
half. Uh, and for like dessert, I always have fresh fruit, because that farmer's market is right there. And if it's not fresh here, they ship it in from either other countries or other states where it is in season. So I'm a little bit lucky that way.
What about things like healthy fats, like some
Like
people
avocado, and
avocado, or things like yogurt, butter,
I have
oils,
yogurt, and
cheese?
I do have some butter, and again, I try to get grass-fed butter.
Hmm.
Um, and like I'll throw a little bit of butter sometimes on my fish or something like that, just for taste reasons, and because I do need some of the fats. Uh, I do eat, salmon once or
Oh, I
twice
love
a week,
salmon.
so
Yeah, yeah.
that has some good fat in it, and um, I have thought, because my insurance will pay for a dietitian,
Hmm.
doing that. But one of my things is I work a lot, and I like my meals in like 15 minutes or so, because I've
Just
just worked a
do you
13
want to just so we were saying about healthy fats,
healthy
and
fats.
you were saying about salmon.
Salmon. Plus, on days that I work late and I don't want to cook, I use a meal service, which is basically a dietitian approved and has the fats in it. And
Oh,
one
and yeah,
reason
you
why I
were
like it,
saying
it
sorry, you were saying you might get some advice from a dietitian on your health service.
right, but these are I, I'm sure you have something similar, but I use what's called factor meals,
All
uh,
right, yeah.
and like they list the fat content, and they actually, have a little bit more carbs than I would normally have. So that kind of forces me to eat a little bit more carbs, which I think is a good thing. The calorie count is right there. It also teaches you a little bit more about portion control, because it is very portion controlled.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and that's how I deal with that.
So what about things like in the US, do you have a choice between zero fat-free yogurt and what we call normal yogurt?
Right. And I switch off. Sometimes I'll have low fat, sometimes I'll have full fat, depending on.
You switch, yeah, or
Mhm.
like cheese, you can sometimes get half
Right,
fat and full fat, and what
right,
else? I suppose some of the butters, and oils, you might get one that's less than another, but yeah, I'm just like like things like coleslaw and potato salad. Sometimes you get reduced fat and full fat and mayonnaise sauces. So I do a mix
yeah.
now as well,
Yeah,
depending
because
how
like,
I
'cause
feel.
moderation is the key to everything.
Yeah, yeah. As long as it's measured, for me anyway, calorie counting. You can have a little bit of full fat and it'll do you no harm if
Right.
in your because
Yeah, fats
because
aren't bad, you need
yeah,
fats.
because I'm trying to just bring up the calories a little, but you can't add much um volume of food
Right,
when you're on Manjaro. You can't add more potatoes or more meat or
right,
what have you. You've got to do it in the in the food. So like to add a bit more full fat mayonnaise, you're increasing the calories, but you're not necessarily increasing the
right.
volume.
Correct. It's a good way to do it. Again, I don't wanna keep you all day, so do you have any closing remarks?
No, just thank you very much for offering to interview me. I am very new to the Mounjaro community, so I hope this hasn't been. It's not some miraculous 10 stone lost journey. I'm just starting here, but I hope it's been of interest to you
We'll have to
too.
get you back in about 4 to 6 months for a follow-up.
But I hope you've found it helpful to
Very.
see somebody being interviewed who's only just started, and is finding my way, um, step by step.
And I think it's important to see people in all parts of the journey so that they could relate to them and see, "Oh, yeah, I'm having that problem too," and, that's how you help people.
And come over to Debbie's World if you want to
It's
see
gonna be linked below in the description.
a typical Yorkshire lass. Um, Not doing anything perfect, a lot of ums and ahs and silly mistakes, but we can have a laugh about it and just enjoy some walks with my dogs, some cooking, what I get up to in a day and what I eat in a day and how many calories are in things. Sometimes we get a little bit of a surprise. Has anything surprised you with what's calories?
Not so much with the calories, but the biggest surprise that I have found on this medication is with that food noise gone, how much
Yeah.
clearer my brain is
Oh,
and my thought
definitely. Yeah.
process.
Yeah, I haven't really talked much about that, but yeah, yeah, definitely. Just I think freedom.
Mhm.
Free is the best word I can use. And even with some very slight side effects, I still feel freer than I
And,
did before.
going through the grocery store, smelling that bakery, it doesn't hurt me anymore. It's like,
You
"Oh,
can
it's
you
okay,"
can
you know?
you can still think, oh yeah, that smells nice, but
Uh-huh.
I don't need to go and buy one.
Right.
I don't need
Uh-huh.
to put one in my basket. It smells nice.
Right.
It's there. I could have one if I wanted. I could find out the calories, but I'm just going to go and look at something else.
Okay, well, thank you for giving me the time, and again, we'll have to try
Thank
to do
you.
this again in, follow-up to see how you're doing.
Yes. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.